Dear witches, staying up to date with the moon? Seeking reminders to re-enchant your daily life? Subscribe to the Modern Witches newsletter for lunar updates and inspiration for working with our personal and collective phases of transformation. Not only do we send out digital spells, astrological insights, and witchy love notes, our newsletter also showcases the incredible magical community that Modern Witches has fostered throughout the years. Have a course or offering you'd like to share with magical babes? Want to share your art with those who will be most touched by its magical themes? Learn more about promoting your work on our newsletter at modernwitches.org/community-marketing. Find the link in show notes. Hello, and welcome back to the Modern Witches podcast. I am Casey Zabala, intuitive witch and interdisciplinary artist, and I am here with Karima of the Cosmic Vibe. Welcome, Karima.
Hi, everyone.
We are here for our Gemini Part 2 episode. And before we dive into all the shifts and the new moon, I would love to just share a few announcements at the top of the episode. So, reminder that our summer solstice coven circle will be meeting on June 18th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and you can join us through our Patreon community. So this will be an hour of attuning to the summer solstice energetically. We'll be doing some guided meditation, some journal prompts, looking at the astrology, as well as some collective divination. So it's a really rich way to kind of like ground back into your practice, especially if you're feeling like busy or you just want more guidance around like how to be present with the energies, please join us. It's a really great way to kind of hype yourself up and attune to the energies of the wheel of the year. And I will also be teaching a summer solstice vision board workshop in the Bay Area. So if you're local, please join me at Mystic Mill Valley on the 21st of June from 4 to 6 p.m. It's going to be a really lovely afternoon where we're kind of going to ground into our summer solstice intentions and then create something like a visual spell or a visual altar to guide us through our manifestation practice. So join me in person if you can.
Sorry, I cut you off. I was ever like so sad. I'm traveling and I'm not there. And those
I know.
for me the most fun because it's like, you get first to the energy of the solstice. You set your intention, and then it's like craft. And like
Mm-hmm.
and talking to people and they focusing on it's just so physical after that. And like and I
Yeah,
I had best inter exchange with people and I got to know people through that activity. And
totally.
sorry, I'm not
Yeah, I feel like throughout the like decades of me teaching, like I've probably started like 4 covens that like I don't participate in, but like people have met at my workshops and like literally have started their own covens. And I'm really proud of that because I think it's really about the opportunity to meet fellow witches and just like connect and yeah, it's great. It's great.
really like when you have a practice after like because usually you go to workshop, you want to learn something. So you're very focused on learning what the teacher, you're grabbing your pen, the journal, you're writing, you like very try to focus. So sometimes you miss the people around you, like the chitty chat and what's like, what is making fun and important because you're so focused on learning. But when you have
Mhm.
like a workshop that asks like to be participating and to be like more into group setting, this automatically shifts something. It's not only about learning, it's about feelings.
Yeah, totally. And being able to like be in that space with people is so healing and so needed right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll link both the Coven Circle and my workshop in the show notes.
Thank you. Kate.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. How is Gemini season treating you?
Yeah. How is it? It's very so interesting how like the first part, like I feel like we talk about it, Gemini is about it's an air sign, it's about the mind and all of that. There's Uranus. There's so much emotional, I feel, cleaning that we're doing during
Yeah,
that time. It is wild, and, like, we just start the second part of the season. It's June 1st, beginning of June, easy to remember. There's this big shift with Mercury entering Cancer, and this is very important because it's gonna be retrograde in Cancer. Mercury is gonna be retrograde later, not in during Gemini season, but later
Mhm.
in the season. So, there's a story that start here, right there. And I wanted to mention the emotional charge that is happening during Gemini season because when we have Mercury entering Cancer, communication becomes more emotional. It's more memory based, intuitive, and protective too. It's the people may feel like they speak more. They speak more personally because Mercury represents your voice, of course. So they speak more personally. They revisit the past. Communication become more vulnerable. It's about vulnerability, how to communicate the most vulnerable part. It becomes sometimes more defensive or sentimental. And so this is a shift that detach from information exchange, like the Gemini usually feeling that we have. So it shift from this towards emotionally meaningful conversation. We want to feel something during this conversation. So it's good for, depending on where you stand with that, that it's good for family discussion that can be intense, but it can pour out a lot of things that has been stuck or we didn't want to talk about it because we're feeling too emotional about it. The Mercury entering Cancer is going is going to push you to talk about it for sure. And then there is also this ancestral work you can do with Mercury in Cancer because it talks about your family, your lineage, where you're from. So there's a lot of magic to do and research to do around your ancestral work. It can be through plants, it can be through divination or what your lineage were used to do or your cultural background. If you want to learn more about this, it's definitely something around this.
I love that. I feel like because this is the Modern Witches podcast, I feel really called to remind people that Cancer is like the realm of the goddess, you know? It's like the altar of the moon. And so Mercury going into that space is like, let's return to that, like petitioning the goddess, working with deities that really like speak to your spiritual practice, altar work, tending work. Yeah, I love it.
Also work.
Yeah.
Like Mercury entering Cancer, it's great. Prayer, because again,
Mhm.
always, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I think it's like, it's just such a beautiful I love how you said this part of Gemini season and all of Gemini season truly is like doing this kind of like clearing work, like internal clearing process.
Mm.
And I love how that really aligns with the wheel of the year as we approach the summer solstice. The summer solstice is like the height of like nurturing and nourishment. And there's something that's very healing about that time of year. But first, Gemini season comes through, and I see like an image of like being kind of like getting Olympia, for instance, if you use that tradition, like really like feeling like something is being swept clean out of your system this season that's like preparing you for the healing work, like the next stage of like really digging into like the embodied healing practices at summer solstice. So I'm just really liking that imagery that's coming through.
Yeah. And like you mentioned it, like the connection to the goddesses, this um kind of willing to connect with something that is higher and maybe something that is connected to the moon or goddesses of the moon or something that is connected to our past. It's very it can bring tears. What I mean by this,
Mm,
like Cancer is very memory, a memory like from our childhood or like from even past life. There's a link in Cancer that's going very deep into that part of ourselves. So it can bring a lot of things come like in our body. And so connecting with the unseen world again, it's amazing. It's amazing because it helps you heal without even like putting your mind into it is really emotional. So it's nothing logic about it. Isn't with Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, there's nothing logic about it. It's just very emotional. So
Feeling, yeah.
it's very emotional healing. So it's just the fact to speak about it is gonna be already a huge step towards the healing process.
Mm,
And I talk about again the family discussion or talking to a friend with about something that really hurt us. Yes, you can we can go really fast into defensiveness and like intensity. It's Mercury in Cancer, but it's also very good to put it out there. It's like you need to speak it up. You need to get it out of your system.
mhm,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I love that we have Mercury in Cancer at the same time where we're having this really beautiful transit, which is probably I think most astrologers will say this is the best transit of 2026 happening. Um, we have on June 9th, Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer.
Like, I kid you not, I know so many people want to start their business, start a relationship, start everything with that conjunction.
Mhm.
Venus and Jupiter conjunction happen, during the year, and, like, it's very people love it. It's just great for anything you wanna do in your life at this time, especially where Cancer is in your chart. But
Right.
the thing with this Venus, sorry, conjunct Jupiter is that is happening in Cancer, and
Mhm.
Cancer love Venus and love Jupiter. They both felt very great in that side, so the
Mhm.
power of those 2 are at 100%. So,
Yeah.
the magic that can come from it, like, the ritual that you can do around that date, especially if it's linked to the houses in your chart, let's say it's regarding your relationship or your career, putting intention in liaison with those houses, that's the triple effect. That's
Mhm.
so it's really one of the sweetest transit of the year is amplify love, generosity, emotional abundance, nourish
Yeah.
deeply protective, also maternal.
Right.
It's beautiful for gathering, ritual, celebrate,
Yeah.
wedding,
Like,
all of that.
have a retreat, like, plan your own personal retreat.
That I don't know how many people are getting married around that time. I think
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is getting married around that time. I'm like, I was like, and people were talking about this trans as the high, like how many people were getting married around this conjunction is crazy. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go just look at what day of the week it is because I need to know. It's okay, so it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's, like, so much joy and beauty that can come through with this Jupiter and Venus conjunction. I just want you to savor it. Like, I think there's something about how it brings out the best of, like, our ability to care for each other, and, Jupiter being kind of like this, um in a way, it talks about, like, law and order and, like, systems that, like, are all about kind of, keeping us safe, you know? Um, and Venus has this justice component, and I've been talking with a lot of people about this sense of, um, how, like, femme energy is coming up, and there's, like, a wave of power coming through the collective where we have to kind of really reckon with the history of oppression of non cis males. And like, I think there's something about this Venus Jupiter conjunction is like a resource of like, okay, if enough of us believe that care is the most important thing that we need, all of us in equal measure, like what can happen? Right? Like, what is like the wave of transformation that can come through? So there's a big part of me that's like, okay, how can we coalesce around this this need to center care and center the most vulnerable populations, protect the most vulnerable populations, create safe harbor for them, and also do that for ourselves, you know,
Yeah.
like really practice what we desire to see in the world. Um,
It's whether
so
anything in work or work around or work with children.
yeah, yeah. And hopefully there'll be some justice manifested out of that beautiful conjunction. We'll see.
Yeah, because I think we talked about it in past, how Jupiter in Cancer brought up so many subjects around care and children.
Yeah.
I never seen that many headline about very awful things that
Mhm.
children are entering into the world. It was always known, it was always there. But the headline, like, talking about France or even here about everything that is happening with pedophilia and sex,
Mhm.
all those crazy, disgusting things,
Slave labor, war, it's endless. Yeah.
like how kids are being targeted, how mothers being targeting during war, how
Mhm.
strategy to destroy the community and to destroy the country by attacking mothers and children because they are the glue. So it's definitely like I couldn't believe that now is like people are really talking about this the strategy of war strategy to destroy.
Mhm.
Um and everybody who's a mother knows what I'm talking about when we talk about pedophilia and all those headlines that are coming and people that have been like, you know, basically imprisoned or revealed into the highlight that they were abusing children. And Jupiter, for whatever reason, like even if the luckiest planet is about expansions, about things like this, in Cancer, it brought the fury of a lot of mothers in the world because it brought highlights on how much horrific things happen into the world towards children. And so when you think about Cancer, is the great mother, is the mother and the children. This is literally
Mhm.
the mother and the children.
Yeah.
And it feels like I see more and more men talking about it now, still very low compared to mothers and compared to women, because women and children are the first to be abused in the society,
Mhm.
first to be um, abused and, you know, where horrible things happen to them. So it was this Venus in conjunction with Jupiter. I hope and wish that it can bring legislation, proposition,
Mhm. Mhm.
highlight movement around those topics that can protect children and mothers. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been a host of revelations. I think it's so important as we like navigate, I don't know, doing this work, practicing astrology, living with astrology, um, to acknowledge like that the planets are neutral,
Hmm.
you know, like they're morally neutral. And I think Jupiter, as you said, is like highlighting all these various themes. It's like a magnifier for
Yeah.
me, like energetically. And so it's really like pulling out like an awareness to the needs of these populations, children's mothers, parents. And um I'm really hoping as we enter in this like really last moments of Jupiter and Cancer, like, what have you noticed in the collective that's been highlighted for you? How has it made you feel? Like, what changes have come about based on those revelations? What do you hope to like actualize moving forward? It's a good time to reflect on these ideas because Jupiter will be moving out into Leo, I guess, at the end of June. So, um, savor it while you can. Enjoy the fruits of Venus, Jupiter, um, and find a way to celebrate it because we need the joy so much to resource us during these dark times.
Exactly. Exactly. I really I'm very excited about this. Transit.
I know it's a good one.
Mhm.
Savor it, everyone.
Yeah.
And as we're kind of like ramping up to June 9th, Venus and Jupiter will just be cutting closer and closer. So, um, yeah, make it last.
Yeah, because then we have Venus and June 13, so literally 4 days
Hmm.
after going to towards Leo, which is a total different vibe.
Mhm.
Jupiter in Leo. And it's the day after we have the Gemini New Moon. So it is I do love a Venus. Of course, we do love a Venus in Leo. It's after weeks of emotionally protective Cancer energy. Venus in Leo like wants visibility. It wants to shine.
Mhm.
It wants to be creative. It wants romance. It wants glamour. It wants expressive affection. There's a very bold light, coming into Venus instead of the inward part. And it love becomes like very theatrical, confidence, warm, all those good words. So it's a good
Mhm.
time to play, it's good time for art, it's good time for performance, it's good time for celebration, pleasure. Venus entering Leo definitely we shift after that beautiful conjunction. Um, is like definitely shift into the most playfulness. So any attention you put during that conjunction, I do like the fact that Venus like carrying that intention into the Leo, the fire, the creator, the manifester. So we want that, especially if you do magic around this beautiful conjunction.
I love it. Yeah. I do think there's, yeah, the need for a little bit of, like, the boldness, um, to kind of help us move into this next chapter of the summer. So, yeah, Venus in Leo could bring that boldness and that courage, um, into, like, attaining what you desire. So, yeah, and so I have the chart here up on the Gemini new moon at 24 degrees in of Gemini. And yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting Uranian
Yeah.
new moon, I would say. And what's interesting to me about it is we have Uranus at 2 degrees of Gemini. It's going to be squaring the nodes of the moon, which are both at 2 degrees of Virgo and Pisces down here. So there's like it's like a quality of, I don't know, reckoning almost. Like I see the Two of Swords card right now as I'm talking about this and as I'm looking at the chart, where it's like, okay, like we find ourselves at some type of a crossroads or like holding a lot. Um, and there's a sense of like, where's my north node? Like, where am I pointing towards? Right.
Yeah. And you said this lunation is like this new moon is feels like more less about like downloading from the cosmos, but more about quietly reorganizing the mind. Like the two of
Hmm.
swords, like where am I going? Like
Yeah.
really reorganizing the mind from the inward. What do I say inward? Because we know Gemini is usually about movement and it's very outgoing, it's very social stimulation. But because the ruler of this nation is in Mercury, there's this work happening mostly inward that have this emotional tone to it. So it is about like quietly reorganizing the mind through an emotional lens.
With Mercury and Cancer.
Yes, it's not obviously like very like analytical, logistic. It's emotional. It is emotional.
Hmm.
And it's going to be very important because, like I said, Mercury is going to retrograde. It's going to take a long time in Cancer.
Hmm.
So there is this work to do already in this story that is unfolding right now at this nation that is beginning at this nation that is going to be asking us to pay attention to. And
Hmm.
I say emotional tone. What I mean by it is like this is yeah, it's Mercury in Cancer. So the question emerging probably during that new moon for depending of your chart, depending on many things, but it's still like what story actually nourish me right now? What
Hmm.
conversation feel emotionally safe? What truth belongs to me versus like the collective noise? It's really gonna be emotional tone towards like about yourself,
Mm.
the others, like what you feel, what is your emotion, like what has actually and he's gonna tell you so much about you, and he's gonna guide you towards the path. The path is through your emotional lens, not your mind.
Mm,
Something that doesn't feel like logic, but your body and your heart wants to go that way. You don't know why, you have no idea why, but it's the emotional that's gonna lead the way.
yeah, it's like, what is your intuition speaking, and what is your anxiety,
Oh, yeah, definitely. Uranus squared and this one,
right?
yeah,
Like,
definitely.
what is like, "Oh, this is meant to be, this is my purpose," and what is, like, an anxiety response,
Yeah,
or a way to, like, escape or abandon something.
yeah,
Yikes. Yeah. Um I love that. I definitely, like, think that it's all about following the moon here, following Mercury in Cancer, attuning to your emotional needs, because it's so easy for our systems to get blown out by the abundance of information we're consuming constantly, by, like, the fire hose that the fascist government is, like, consciously perpetrating upon us.
yeah.
Um, it's a lot. Like, we're consuming a lot, we're experiencing a lot. Our nervous systems are probably gonna be a bit overwhelmed at this stage. Um, and so to tune back into another way of knowing is gonna be really important. So, pull out your pendulum, use your tarot cards, your oracle decks, um, any system of divination that can, like, really support you in grounding into your truth. Um and, like, any ancestral practices probably as well with the moon and Mercury. Like, anything that connects you with your maternal knowing, your maternal lineage, um, will also be pretty powerful magic under this new moon.
We wanna use that. Yes,
Yeah.
being Mercury in Cancer, we wanna do this. Yeah.
And the last Jupiter in Cancer there too, so
Yeah, it's here to expand that. It's here, Jupiter to think at the expander. Everything you're doing that's gonna be emotionally leaning, Jupiter is here to like, "Hey, let me expand it. Let me support.
Mhm.
Let me bring
Mhm.
opportunity around it. Let me bring sign." Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so a very dynamic new moon in Gemini on the 14th of June. Um Really kind of like I liken the new moon before the solstice because I think that it sort of orients us to where we're beginning our new chapter or like
Yeah.
what threshold we're stepping over at this point. And so again, using your intuitive practices to help you orient in that way will be really powerful. And then on June 19th, we have a big shift or a taste of a big shift because we have Chiron moving into Taurus on the 19th. Um, and Chiron has been in Aries for about 8 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, and Chiron will be in Taurus from this June 19th date until September. And then it will retrograde back into Aries for a little while. So this is giving, like, a momentary reprieve to those who have been going through either, like, their Chiron return, if you have Chiron in Aries, or just, like, any placements in Aries that have been, where Chiron has been activating your chart. Um, and it's teaching us a little bit about what Chiron and Taurus is highlighting for us and the healing that is maybe available for us there.
Yeah, and it's I'm like, "I'm sorry for Taurus people." Like, you just Uranus just left, and now you're welcoming Taurus.
Mhm.
I you're welcoming Chiron, sorry, and I do think this work with Uranus that kind of revealed so many different part of yourself, personally, but also collectively, regarding land, regarding
Mhm.
material world, regarding, like, how we maintain our land. Um, Chiron is coming here, don't forget it's the wounded healer, so it's it begins a collective healing around survival, embodiment, self-worth. It's also about land, money, food system, your body, and it's helping to it wants to guide you to regulate your nervous system. Basically, after years of Chiron in Aries, that totally very intense, very fiery. It's like it was focusing on identity wounds
Mhm.
and individual survival. That was literally like a lot of topic were coming from those two perspectives, identity and individual survival. But Taurus, on the other hand, is asking us, how do we create sustainable lives? Which we already talk about it with those 7 year of Uranus and Taurus. Those topic has been brought
Mhm.
up kind of very disturbingly, like through events, through dramatic,
More.
earthquake, war. Look, so those topic has been brought up to us with like a very Uranian tone, but now is like we are really active. We understand that there is a wound in those topics,
Mhm.
and then there's a lot of people and collective like organization and group that wants to create a more sustainable life. So
Mhm.
it's gotta be for sure increasing interest in herbalism, in somatic healings, in
Mhm.
multiple aid, land stewardship, food sovereignty, body-based spirituality. There's all those topics that's gonna be more
Hopefully indigenous sovereignty and
indigenous sovereignty, as we got introduced by it with Uranus and
Mhm.
Pluto, like that was kind of shaking up because Pluto was talking a lot to Uranus very intensely through square. So there was really a lot of shock, really like difficulty to understand how to work it out. But Chiron is here, is the teacher. And you understand there's the wound that will never heal. But how do we teach ourselves and how do we create a sustainable life through it? So we're gonna have a turn to it. It's gonna come back then afterward, like basically retrograde to Aries coming back. But I'm excited to see what are the solutions that are being brought up to us while
yeah,
in Taurus. Yeah.
me too. Me too. I think there's something like kind of poetic about how Uranus went through Taurus and caused so much disruption and now Chiron, the healer, comes in is like, "Ah, okay. Now we have to really face this. Like,
Yeah.
let's see how much work we have to do here and what are our tools
Yeah.
to navigate the healing process." So, um,
Yeah. And on the top
yeah.
of it, that also again depending of the chart and the house that is eating is like very much like you trying to master that part of your chart. You try to understand and to take lead towards it, to become you the teacher or to follow a teacher that can guide you through improving that part of your house. But it's more about
Yeah.
it's less chaotic and more you taking more control of it in terms of like, okay, it's here, the wound is there, in that part of my chart that can be your house, your home, your relationship, your money, whatever it is like, okay, I understand. Uranus was crazy and show me all the way that I can do things. Now I'm taking control. I really want to implement slowly. It's not a rush
Mhm.
slowly implement something that is sustainable for you in that part of the chart. And that
Right.
will be very helpful because you're going to master that part of the chart that has been chaotic for the 7 year. You're actually going to master it now and in the
Mm.
train it. So I do think is even if it digs some stuff, it digs some wound and stuff, it's also very down to earth and practical more than a Chiron in Aries. That it's very fiery and light you up very fast, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think this is going to be, a really interesting chapter for us. And yeah, if you are a Taurus, we'd love to hear from you. How's it going out there?
Yeah,
Hopefully you're feeling better now that Uranus is out of
yeah.
your sign. But that is sort of the final transit we have for Gemini season. And then on the 21st, we have the summer solstice. So, really like a beautiful time to kind of ground into the healing work that you are currently navigating. I know we've all been really in it lately at various levels of suffering um, and various levels of capacity. And so I hope that there's space here for you to kind of ground into what you need, how you can show up for others and hold both things. Um, and we will be back with summer solstice energetics and more. So, Karima, do you have any last thoughts or words about Gemini?
No, no, I feel like it's a battle between the inward and I mean, the your heart and your mind a little bit.
Mhm.
Not a
Yeah.
battle, I think it's like a research of yourself and a very nice work to do during that Gemini season, to kind of clarify, what your mind is saying and what your heart is saying.
Yeah, I love that. It's real. The work continues.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for tuning in, witches. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Anything else you'd like to know or learn here. And we will be back. Thank you for listening and subscribing and sharing with your coven.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Modern Witches podcast. We hope you've been inspired to cultivate your own magic and to craft your own spiritual practices. Let us know what sparked your curiosity by leaving us a comment on this episode or leave us a review. And don't forget to subscribe to the show so that you never miss an episode. Your feedback and engagement truly fills our cups. If you're looking for more ways to gather with your fellow witches, please support our work on Patreon. Learn more at modernwitches.org. Blessed be.